Hello and welcome to the 5-Minute Sound Designer, where I'll show you a cool new sound design tool, tip, or technique in about 5 minutes or less. So in this video, I just want to show you some of my favorite sound design software plugins along with another tool that I just love to use. So I use these basically every single day for my sound design, and there's a ton more that I use, but these are just some of my favorites. First off, I want to let you know that I have zero affiliation with any of these products or companies. I don't get any sort of kickback or anything like that. These are just things I really like to use. So here we are in Logic Pro, and I just have a sound effect file loaded from one of my favorite libraries from Boom Library, just a magic electric effect. So I'll play it without any sort of plugins on right now. So we have a cool electric effect here. So again, this isn't my sound, it just comes from a library. And my first favorite plugin is Absinthe. Now, Native Instruments Absinthe is commonly used for its synthesis purposes. So it's used as an instrument, as a synthesizer, but a lesser known thing it can do is as an effect plugin. So you can use it as an effect or a standalone synthesizer within your DAW. So it's pretty awesome. You can do all sorts of different types of synthesizers, all combined at once. You can have filters, oscillators, modulation parameters, all sorts of crazy stuff, and build a whole bunch of insane sounding effects from scratch. I'll just pick a random preset from here. So you heard the original, now let's hear it with this preset. So that's already really, really different. And you can also hit this mutate button a whole bunch, and it'll just change a bunch of parameters, somewhat at random. Well, in that case, it actually did nothing. That's one problem with the mutate parameter. Sometimes things don't work out. But essentially what this can do is make a lot of really unique, sometimes really sci-fi-y effects happen. So this one's really cool. I use it all the time. And you can do tons of different effects, all built in to this one powerful synthesizer. Next up is the FabFilter Pro Q2. So this is just an equalizer. So you might be wondering why an equalizer is special in any way, shape, or form. And honestly, it's not anything too crazy different. I just really like this one. One reason is the interface. I can basically create a band by clicking anywhere on this line, create multiple bands, which is nice. It just has a nice workflow. You can change the different types of band itself depending on what you want. All sorts of crazy stuff, and it just feels nice. It looks nice. And one feature I really like about it that some other EQs do as well is you can click this headphone icon here and solo just that frequency. So let's say I play the sound and hit these headphones. I'm just going to listen to these frequencies as I scan from left to right. So now I'll do it with the headphones on. So what this allows me to do is just hear certain frequency zones, and that allows me to figure out problem frequencies and get rid of them really, really quickly and really easily. So I love this one for that. Next up, we have Audio Damage's EOS Reverb. I use this all the time. You guys have seen me use this in all of my previous videos, basically. It's just an awesome reverb that sounds really, really dark. I just really like this one. Has an infinite setting that lets the sound reverberate forever, just infinitely. And it has all the standard reverb sort of parameters. I just like the sound that this thing makes. So I'll just play it for you. I'll turn it down just a little. So that's an extreme example of it, but it does have a very dark sound to it that I really like. I like the simple interface. And of course, I do like that it's pretty cheap. It's $50, which for an audio plugin that I use every single day is very fairly priced. So last up for the audio plugins part of this video is the Soundtoys Crystallizer. So this thing is really unique. Basically everything Soundtoys makes is really, really special and really unique. And what this is by its own description, a granular echo synthesizer. So it works almost like a delay. It has, a whole bunch of taps that happen after the initial sound, but it then granulizes and synthesizes the heck out of those delays and makes them sound really, really cool and really unique. So I just played around with some random parameters, and I'm just going to hit play for you. So that's the original. Now I'm going to turn it on. So you can hear that it chops it up and synthesizes and plays around with a whole bunch of the other taps that happen essentially. So I can play around and make the taps, the delays happen faster. I can make it so that there's not as many, there's not as much feedback, etc., etc. Make it so it pitches down, all sorts of good stuff. So this is a very fun one to play with, especially, again, for sci-fi effects. Really, really like it. Play around with the parameters, have a good time. Basically, everything Sound Toys makes is fantastic for sound design. And lastly, even though I know this will make the video longer than 5 minutes, this is another tool I really like to use. This is known as Audio Finder. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It basically allows you to catalog all the audio and sound files on your system, and then essentially it allows you to search for them really quickly and really easily. So if I type in, say, lightning up here in the search bar, it'll search my hard drives for everything with the word lightning in the either file or the metadata that's associated with it. So now here's all my lightning sounds that I have here, and I can type in anything else. Say, oh, I spelled that really wrong. Let's say sword. Now I have all my sword effects that just come up here. So it searches all my libraries, all my personal stuff, and you can, of course, play around with it and preview them and then drag them really easily into your DAW of choice. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys either use some of this stuff or let me know what some of your favorite tools are. These are just a few of my favorites. I have way more that I use every day, but I'd love to hear what you guys use basically every single day. What do you reach for all the time? So thanks so much for watching. Of course, if you want a career in this game industry, if you want a career as a sound designer, composer, artist, whatever it may be in games, sign up for my newsletter. That's where I share all of my best stuff on getting a career and upping your skills in the game industry. So sign up for my newsletter using the info in the description or the annotations or the cards and all that sort of good stuff. Of course, if you liked it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm sorry, I know I have to say that. That's what all the YouTubers do, and I have to do it because it does work. And of course, lastly, watch my TED Talk. I gave a TED Talk on the power of video game music, and you can watch that in the description below or in the annotations or the cards, etc., etc., etc. So, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.